Hi, everyone. This is Aaron for SOLA Network, and it's me and Hannah today.
Woo!
Hannah, thanks for taking the call. I want to talk about two things. First thing, your Hidden Gems article.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell everybody what's going on with the Hidden Gems from last year?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things that I do at SOLA Network, which is to highlight some of the articles that I absolutely loved during the year, but maybe didn't get as much traction on social media or whatever. And it's a way for me to group those together, especially at the end of the year when people are like looking back at what they did in the past year, have a little more maybe free time. It gets people to read those.
Yeah. And you chose what, five of them or something like that, I
I
think
did.
was on the list.
I chose five of them this year. And so I tried to pick things that were throughout the year. So like there was one that actually ran like Thanksgiving, which isn't too far away. And
Right.
then some that ran at the beginning of the year. And so that was really fun to do too.
Yeah. Out of all of them, you want to talk about any one of them in particular?
Yeah, so yeah, the one that actually came out of Thanksgiving, Praying Before
Hmm.
Meals Like the Men of Gondor by Sarah
Yeah.
White was
Yeah.
awesome. It was, I mean, anything with Tolkien, I'm like already in, you know? But
Yeah.
then to really parse out some of these like nuances that you would, I mean, I definitely have, I mean, I've read the book. I definitely kind of remember the scene, but I didn't remember everything. And so to have that little reminder about how the hobbits prayed versus how the men of Gondor prayed was like really cool. I also really enjoyed Comfort for Weary, Bruised, and Broken Gospel Servants by Sam Wan, who
Mm.
is this amazing Australian,
Yes.
Asian Australian writer.
Yes.
And it was just so beautiful to just feel the tenderness and warmth he had towards, servants who, volunteers or pastors who feel worn down, weary, especially because of COVID, and the
Yes.
gentle words he had. They were so moving for me.
Yeah. I know Sarah, she read her article actually for us on our YouTube channel, so everybody can go check that out.
Totally.
And I will put the link to Hannah's Hidden Gems in the show notes for this one. Thanks for always compiling that every year, Hannah.
No worries. Yeah, again, one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah. I want to talk about our SOLA Network magazine. So this is going to be the big ticket that I want to talk about today.
For sure.
I feel that we did so much last year, and condensing it into a magazine, I think was hard because it's hard to pick. Hannah, how'd you feel about that? How did you decide what you wanted to put in?
Yeah, I mean, we did do so much last year, and it was really wild looking back at the content, previous posts, and going through. But a couple things I looked at was one, I did want to see what was kind of had legs, was a little bit,
Mm,
people resonated with. And
mm,
so I would go to our Google Analytics and see what got page views. But I
mm.
also wanted to show things where we as a solo network were able to talk about things from an Asian American Christian perspective, right? That,
Right, right,
for
right.
example, our review of Turning Red, right? Having that AAPI Christian perspective, right? Or the shootings at the Taiwanese church in Orange County, California. That was a very gospel centered, but Asian American and Asian American and very personal story that we were able to convey that I think could only be found at Sola Network.
Yeah.
And then also um, kind of showing the breadth of our audience. We had things that spoke to pastors and leadership. We had things that spoke to parents. Obviously, Faith Chang, always one of our fabulous contributors, talking about how she's not a pro at parenting, and Vera Christian about learning about adopting a child with special needs. Like those are such powerful articles.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I just kind of trying to show the breadth and the impact that Asian American Christians can have in our Christian sphere. And
Yeah.
I think that was really fun to do.
Yeah. Hannah, how do you feel when you go back and you kind of look at all the stuff that you worked on over the year? I mean, I know that there are other people who are writing the articles, but you're spending time with it, you're editing it, you're working with the contributor on it. Like, how do you feel when you go back and look at it?
Honestly, it shows me that there's so much talent in the Asian
Mm,
American Christian community, that
mm,
there are so many people with gifts that just need like a little bit of polish. I'm not doing super a lot, what I do is good and important. I'm learning to
Mhm.
like accept my gifts, and not self-deprecate too much.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So I
Yeah,
am
yeah.
I am a part of it,
Right.
but there is so many great art out there, so many
Mm,
opinions and
mm,
insights and perspectives that we have
mm,
that I could never write. And yet they
mm,
resonate
mm,
with me because they are able to put something into words that I've felt but never could fully express. So,
mm, mm.
looking at, what what happened what we published, right?
Yeah,
Heidi's article on what to remember while praying for Ukraine, like
yeah,
that was a huge news story this year. And i
yeah.
and I actually, our church has relationship with churches in Ukraine, and yet Heidi was able to just put it into words, like how to pray and how to think.
Mm,
And I was like, this
mm,
resonates with me, and this
mm.
helps me to pray better for the missionary contacts we have in Ukraine and things
Yeah.
like that. So it's always encouraging. It's a lot of work, but it's so encouraging to see at the end of the year all the amazing things we've done.
Yeah. Yeah, Hannah, I just want to give you some encouragement and to piggyback on that. Yeah, you definitely do great work. I'm always amazed at how quickly you can make the edits. But when I look back at like something I wrote and I'm like, of course it needs to go like that way, or why didn't I think about that title or something like that, you know? And I also appreciate how you do keep the voice of the author intact. Like you never supersede it. You're always pushing for that. And you're also really good at keeping your finger on the pulse of what should be, I guess, published out there on behalf of us, whether it's current events or holidays. I just feel like you're always on top of that. You're cognizant of it. So yeah, thank you, Hannah. It's amazing to work with you.
Thank you, Aaron. I feel that was very encouraging. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, and that's just the tip of it. I don't want to get too hardcore on you, but yeah, I mean that's just really, stuff that I'm really blessed by you. Um, so let me see here. Not only in the magazine did we put our articles, but we also put book reviews and our interviews, and so everybody can go and check that out. But something I want to talk to you about is our Asian American Leadership Conference, the
Yeah.
AALC. Hannah, you went to that, and we linked to everything from the AALC. So yeah, what are some big takeaways from that event that you remember or that impacted you the most?
Yeah, I think the beautiful thing about the AALC, one of the attendees or speakers said to me, like, it's crazy the amount of theological diversity that we have amongst our keynote speakers and even the attendees. And
Mm,
yet we're all able to come together because of the gospel and
mm,
because of our shared Asian American heritage.
mm.
And I mean, I'm not going to say that we were like super along the theological spectrum. Most people were, reformed
For
or
sure, right,
are part of, a certain spectrum. But even
right.
within then, to have um, you know, TGC president there with the
Mm,
intervarsity president, like that's
right.
that's like really cool.
Yeah, yeah,
And so for me, that was encouraging to know that there are these partnerships that can happen, and that those voices are all welcome at SOLA Network, right?
yes.
We don't make people take theological tests, right?
Yeah,
um
yeah,
but there's such beauty in diversity of speakers. And yeah, that was really encouraging to me, that people, it wasn't just like one seminary putting out a conference. It was really, hey, like, do you believe in this mission of following Christ and using our perspective as Asian Americans? So
yeah.
that was really good. And just to see that um everyone was excited to do it again. Like that's
Yes.
I still get emails of people like, hey, like, do you
Yeah,
know what's happening next so that I can put in my calendar? And I'm like,
right.
I do not. But as soon
Yeah.
as I do, I will personally reply to
Yeah.
you because I want you to come. So that's been a real encouragement to me afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, for you and me, Hannah, I feel like we are the digital branch of Sola, right? And so
That's right.
to have the physical, I guess, presence and embodiment of what Sola is, it was pretty rad to see that happen.
It was great.
And not only that, but I got to actually be in person with you, so that that was
That
that
was
was
really fun.
cool
We got to
too. Yeah,
hash out some stuff. It was
yeah, we
great.
actually we did some stuff. Oh man, Hannah. Well, again, thank you for your time. I want to actually end our really short podcast today. If I may ask you to read the intro to the magazine.
Yes. Okay. I will do my best not to stumble over too many words. But and if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm just looking at my other screen. I do not have this memorized. And
This
if
is
you're listening on the podcast now, I don't have this I did
yeah.
not.
This is Hannah doing her article read. We have people do article read, so this is Hannah's version.
2022 has been a year of growth. While the effects of the pandemic still linger, we have found ways to adjust and even thrive. Many of us have gone back to in-person services, reconnected with old friends, and found new jobs. And even if it seems like our circumstances haven't changed much, we can look forward to the new calendar year to give us the tiny push we need to try something new. Looking back on 2022, SOLA Network has grown as well. We started to experiment with video content, having authors read their articles aloud. We also conducted more interviews than ever before, which meant we heard from many authors and participants of the first Asian American Leadership Conference. We're also proud of the content we made this year. SOLA Network published powerful articles on parenting to equip mothers and fathers. We continue to cover current events from an Asian American Christian perspective, from the Olympics to the Laguna Woods shooting. And of course, we published articles on the state of the church and encouragements for pastors. So in our 2022 SOLA Network Magazine, we present 10 essays and articles that show the breadth of our work. And for the first time, we also add 2 lists of book recommendations for further reading from Asian American Christian authors. We also include a recap of the AALC and highlights of some of our best SOLA Network interviews. I want to thank all of the people who submitted their writing to us or were guests in our interviews. I'm also grateful to our incredible editorial board and volunteers who helped keep the website running, from pitching stories to editing drafts to hitting publish on all our platforms. As you read our magazine, we hope you will reflect on how you have changed this year. Perhaps the growth was expansive and fruitful, or perhaps it involved painful pruning and a lot of fertilizer. But I hope that we will all see that God is with us, whether we feel stuck where we are or as though the possibilities are endless. Wherever we are, I pray the blood of Jesus Christ continues to sanctify us and prepare us to do good works. Here's to 2023.
Here's to 2023. Hannah,
Yeah.
it's so great to hear your words in your own voice. And
Thanks, Aaron.
one more encouragement for you. Thank you for steering this ship. It's an honor to work together with you and to follow your lead. It's going to be a great year ahead of us.
Totally agree. Thanks so much, Aaron.